If you're watching your weight like my cameraman John is, then you're gonna hate me for this one, and John, I do apologise. But it's a great little technique, the beurre blanc or béarnaise or white wine and butter sauce. Now you're only ever gonna eat it on special occasions and you're only gonna eat a small amount of it, but it's good to see the emulsification between vinegars and fat. So a nice little lesson in cooking. We're gonna pair it with some salmon and tortellini. We're gonna start our beurre blanc the same way you would start a hollandaise. So a shallot, which we're gonna dice really finely. So just run your knife through it from head or from tip to root. And then this way, horizontally, and then dice it. And once you've got that really fine dice, I'm gonna pop this into a pan with a little bit of oil and cook it right down. So this is gonna take 5 to 10 minutes to cook. We want it to be really soft, almost caramelized. No color, but almost caramelized, as close as you can get it without getting any color on it. So pan on, stay and watch it, and 8 minutes of bringing that shallot, trying to bring all the sugar that is caught in the cells inside the onion or the shallot, trying to bring that sugar out. This has been on a very low heat, and you can see I've tried really hard to not put any color on our shallots, but we've extracted as much of the sugar out of the shallot as we possibly can. So shallots are sweet if you cook them out and you break down the sugar inside, and they're also nice and savory. So we're getting that sweetness and that savory out of the shallot. Now, about a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice and about half a glass of white wine. I'm going to reduce that right down to make a white wine reduction. And then we're going to start to emulsify in our oil, so our fat, which we're going to do in a form of butter. You get heaps of flavour, it's really luxurious. And as I said, you'd only really eat it on a special occasion, or you'd eat it and then go for a really long run. That little reduction has come down enough. Now you've got two options here. One, you can strain that off, get all the shallots out of there because you've really got as much flavour out as you can, and just use the reduction, or you can keep it in. I'm going to keep it in. I like the texture and I like that extra flavour. So some capers, just a little handful of capers for some saltiness. Pop them in. And then the butter. So I'm using a nice herb butter, and it's got to be cold. So take it straight out of the fridge. And you're going to cut it into cubes and add them one at a time and just whisk them to emulsify them into that. Now we've got acid in there, we've got lemon juice and white wine, which is acidic. And what happens when you add acid and oil or fat together is you can make an emulsification and it becomes quite creamy, like making a mayonnaise. So we'll pop a couple of knobs in and then just whisk that in. Now you want them to melt slowly so you can emulsify it in as it goes. That's why you need it to be cold. Now this butter I love because you're doing no extra work and getting extra flavour. So it's got herbs through the butter. It's a compound butter, and that, I mean, it's gonna, I'm definitely gonna have to go for a run after I have this dish. So you can see how it looks quite thick because of the acid that's in there and because of the butter. That emulsification is starting to take place. So a nice gentle heat, and we'll leave that sitting there and we'll get the rest of our dish ready. So in our pot of boiling water, we're gonna pop our little tortellinis. So these are 3 cheese tortellinis. We'll pop them in. And they take about 7 minutes to cook. So by the time they're cooked, we'll be ready to plate up. And then we'll put our other pan on and get ready for our salmon. So our salmon, we've got skin on portions, which I'll take out of the pack. They're already portioned up for me, ready to go. Skin on one side. So I'm just going to pop that. You don't need a blaring hot pan. Straight into our pan. We get a nice crispy skin and slowly cook it through, and then we're ready to go. 90% of our cooking has been done skin side down, so I'm just going to turn this over and give it 30 seconds on the flesh, and that means we're ready to plate up. First things first, a couple of spoonfuls of our pasta. Remember, this is a tortellini, so it has a filling on the inside. Our fish can come straight out of our pan on top. And then our sauce is going to go on top of that. So remember, make sure you've planned a gym session or a run. Sauce over the top, and then to finish, just to make it a little bit more decadent, I'm going to pick some parsley, which I hear you say is not decadent, which it definitely isn't. I'm going to place some parsley on there, but the decadent bit comes from the little jumbo caviar that we've got from Huon, which I'll place on top as well. So this will give you some nice little explosions of that salty, beautiful seafood taste. There we go. A once in a year dish, tortellini with crispy skinned salmon and béarnaise or beurre blanc.